Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. So welcome to Kailash Courtyard, Manifesting Past session. Welcome the God and Goddesses, all the Paramashivas, the states, space and powers and super consciousness of Paramashiva. Swamiji has been giving us a great insights into the beautiful sutras, and with the sutras now he is giving powerful cognition. He never used to say powerful cognition, but he gives a powerful cognition and gives a example how he manifested or how his guru manifested the powers, especially levitation. He's been telling very profoundly how his guru manifested it and how he manifested it in different ways for us to understand that it is all possible. We understanding that the possibility exists. The main thing that Swamiji wants us to experientially understand so that it becomes a cognition in us. Only when a power becomes a cognition, it takes us to a permanent solution, because we start understanding and from there we make decisions. If we just do power manifestation happens also because of Swamiji's initiation, you connecting with Swamiji simply manifest as powers. But if powerful cognition happens, it becomes your lifestyle. Only if it becomes your lifestyle, you start cognizing it and start living those cognition as practical life. Swamiji said about the 9 Amars, how they lived. Again, I want to go back to the 9 Amars, the Kungli Kalaya 9 Amar. How he lived was, in spite of all the problems, he was so passionate about Sadashiva. He'll go to the Sadashiva temple, Paramashiva's temple, and he will give the incense. He'll just light the incense, and with the Kungli Kalayam, he'll go around the temple and come back. This one thing he will not fail. Whatever may be the situation, he will go and do it. There are so many 9 Amars do the same thing. Some people will not eat before feeding a Shiva devotee. Some people will not do anything unless they apply the ash. No, simply for an ash. But it is so profound that they follow these, the gunas of Paramashiva, the lifestyle of Paramashiva to the core extreme. If they just follow for the core extreme, what is a big deal? But what happens in your mind and how you function, you have to study that. Swamiji beautifully says in the Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, he has spoken many times on this. How when you're, for example, you're unconsciously doing an action, that is the dream. In the dream, you're unconscious and you are projecting something and you're perceiving something. But that you called a dream, unconsciously doing. When you wake up and you project something and you perceive something, you call that creativity. You have your life and you are creating your life and all that. But consciously, if you do an action, that takes us to the dharana and leads us to dhyana and samadhi. When the action is tuned into the higher frequency, it becomes the dharana. Why its dharana is so important? Because the whole mind, which is so much into so many things, the incompletion, the confusions, the irritation, or whatever you call the outer world, anything which just triggers you, even small word triggers you, or your health triggers you, or the ambience triggers you, something or other triggers us. But when you are passionate about something, and the passionate is towards the Sadashiva, something the consciousness related, which is not outer world related. For example, you're passionate about gold, you will get into it. But at one point, you'll get frustrated because it is not the existential reality. Because it is Maya. The more and more you find out, either you will get out of that saying, hey, it doesn't make any sense after a point, or you will fall into depression that you're not able to expand in that. You will just fall into depression because it is not fulfilling you. That's why so many billionaires, even recently a billionaire committed a suicide. because inside them, they are not able to perceive that fulfillment from the outer world. You can never fulfill yourself from the outer world. Whatever it is, you think your cup of chocolate is going to make you happy, you're completely wrong. It is only you believing it is making you happy. That belief is only satisfied, but you are not satisfied. You are still stuck with just the five sensory input can never fulfill you, because the fulfillment cannot be in the mirror. For example, if I dress up the mirror, I am not going to look beautiful. How much ever I dress the mirror, I am not going to look beautiful. I have to dress up me. So you living with the five senses is like dressing up the mirror. What is the point? It's me who has to get satisfied, and me who has to understand the source of it. Who is the source behind the five senses can only get fulfilled. You cannot fulfill the mirror and say, I am happy. That's why you get into frustration and depression, boredom, tiredness, because the more I keep on doing, will it make me happy? Any senses. More I keep watching the TV, will it make me happy? Or more I keep drinking the cup of chocolate, will it make me happy? No. Because at one point it is tired and bored and you'll be sick of it. Because it doesn't exist, and you're trying to believe that it exists and trying to satisfy itself, which cannot happen. But inside you, if you understand who's the source behind all this, that, who's exactly cognizing that, or who's exactly projecting that. If you understand that this is a matter, we are consciousness which is getting projected through the senses, it is experienced the world, then it is totally different. That is happening as a manifest, Parashakti, through the senses. But if you understand only outside world, from the outside you try to look in, it cannot happen inside. So the action that you do, the action is only five sense based, or trying to be greed or fear or anything. It can only put to the extent of decorating a mirror. Swamiji is very clear when it has to consciously break through. That is why when you play with the deity, or do alankar to deity, or do with Goshala, the cows, or any Sangha activity, or do Pada Puja or Paramashiva, he gives n number of possibility. In that, if you're very, very clear, I'm not going to miss anything, not for the integrity's sake, but understanding it is conscious breakthrough. Whenever your brain, mind, everything is focused on one conscious decision, which is consciously going to lift you to the next space of understanding, the intelligence, the subtler opening, then that portion, what you are experiencing, is dharana. If you just understand action, it is not going to take you to the next level. Yes, every day I do yoga, I do puja, nothing happens. This I'm doing for 10 years. That means, Swamiji says, we have not taken responsibility to do it authentically. We are not conscious about that. We don't want to break through that. We just want to complain and say, this doesn't work. We are not going beyond the complaint and saying, yes, it works. I am going to make it happen because they have people who has done it. Every spiritual practice, there is somebody who has done, whether it is yoga, somebody has gone to extreme. Patanjali has gone to extreme and he has got enlightened just by yoga. So there is a person who has done it. Then how can you complain saying it is not working? Because you're not doing something. There's something missing between the gap. That is why these 9 Amars, Swamiji said so beautiful. He compared the Houston Mahant with the 9 Amar because he is not working as one of the priorities, but only priority he works when he does a Sangha activity. Whenever he does that part of him, really flowers into the only activity, because that is going to expand him into the conscious space. That's all. It's not he's a special that Swamiji likes him more, nothing like that. He's taking an example and telling us a living example how when you take this, any spiritual context, any spiritual activity to the extreme, to the extreme that you can do it, completely authentic, then you will see a dharana happening. You will have a breakthrough because you're so focused on that. Simply that has to open up to the next dimension. Extreme power manifestation or extreme yoga. Anything we go to the extreme. Extreme is not difficult. It is not difficult at all when we are passionate. If you are asked to do something you like so much, you will not get bored and tired. Actually, you will break the boredom and tiredness with only things you are passionate. If you ask to do things you don't like, we can understand. But if you like one of the things, you try any combination of it. But one of the things you love it, you love chanting, Mahavakya. It can be as simple as that. Or you like to go ahead and enrich and cause and do everything. Wonderful. Anything you like it, take it to the extreme. You will manifest powers and Shakti will just flow through you in that. Because you're consciously making a decision in the conscious path. It's not for outer world you're doing. You don't have any vested interest. Why you should do? There should be no reason. Why you should do? It's not satisfying your senses. It's just because you love it. Because you love Swamiji. Anything, because you just love everybody experiencing Swamiji. That is why any Sangha activity, it gives a breakthrough. But we have to take it to extreme. We can't say, I did causing so many times and so many people are caused, but nothing happened to me. Because we have not, it's not the number. If you think number, quantity, you are failing. Quality, even one you cause, but you do out of such an extreme space, simply you will be enlightened. It is not Buddha. Buddha sat for 12 years, got frustrated that he sat for 12 years. But he took one decision and got enlightened. He took a decision, till my body evaporates, I'm going to sit. When he took an extreme decision, simply he got enlightened. Swamiji says only extreme will break the mind, that consciousness is more powerful, then simply mind will follow and put you into the space of consciousness. But for us, the gate has to open. Somewhere you have taken that step, then the gate opens. You can be even yoga, the body, anything, what you like to the extreme, chanting, or anything that you like. I like watching satsang, then go to the extreme of that. Anything you take up and do it as much as possible and as intensely as possible. Not quantitative. Oh, I watch satsang for 5 hours a day. No, even 5 minutes if you're just in tune. Dharana becoming dhyana. At dhyana stage, nor you nor the object is there. Both disappear into consciousness. That is dhyana, which goes into the samadhi space. The dharana, when you consciously do something, you fall into dhyana where just mind gets dissolved. And after that, you're in samadhi. There is no you, there is no consciousness, there's nothing. A nothingness just stays. You get into some other plane, there is no return. Dhyana, you can return back. You just dissolve for a few minutes, you just lost yourself. But samadhi, you don't have a return. You don't come back to this plane anymore. You go into the next plane of consciousness, next awareness. Like you woke up. Like after waking up, yes, you can go to sleep, but you consciously now know what is waking up. So samadhi is a space you are woken up from this place. So you fall into dhyana, the mind collapses, dissolves itself. When you take it to extreme, extreme is not, you become intense, completely intense what you're doing. Puja, then do it puja. You want to do homa, do all the homas possible. Whatever you're doing, do it such intensely. That is the most beautiful thing. I want you to take 5 minutes, write down what is your passionate consciousness that you're going to live. Swamiji says, walk consciousness, talk consciousness, eat consciousness. Sankhya, the enlightenment app that he's downloading in us, that is exactly the intensity he's talking about. So write whatever you're passionate and see where you're complaining and saying, this is not working for me. If we are manifesting one power, not manifesting some other power, again, we are getting back to the space of quantity, or we are complaining about, I can't do it. Somewhere we are missing the whole link. So look in and complete with that. and see where the manifest has to happen fully through us. If you understand, we take it to the extreme and say, yes, Swamiji is going to manifest through me. I am going to be in oneness with chanting. And Swamiji will simply reflect into me and the whole conscious breakthrough will happen. If you make a decision, even once very clearly, it will be a conscious breakthrough. You have done the dharana. Now staying in that space becomes the dhyana. Simply you fall into the superconscious space and you become the space of oneness with Paramashiva. Then if you become oneness with Paramashiva, everything becomes more clear, more intelligent, higher intelligence, higher purpose. And exactly Swamiji says, all the kids before 21 should experience that state. Then after that, simply whether it is wisdom or wealth will be literally slaves of them. They don't have to run behind them. They know how to create it from where they exist. Literally, we'll be in such a beautiful space. So let's take 5 minutes. Yeah, let's take 5 minutes and write down. Yes, Ma, you're able to hear? Thumbs up.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Om Nithyananda. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
The Shastra Pramana for the power of consciousness over matter is taken from the Shiva Sutras, Sutra 3.18. Swamatra nirmanam apadayati. Swamatra nirmanam apadayati.
Yes, thank you. This is from the Shiva Sutra. This is for the power of teleporting. We are going to do a teleport from one cup to another cup. Okay. You can instruction I'll give you. First, understand the cognition. Yes, all big smile, all these kids. You better teleport today for the smile you're having. Genesis and Matthew. Okay, wonderful. I'm so happy you're excited about power manifestation. That is more than enough. Okay, experience that this objective world is a product of his subjective consciousness. He can create and manifest any object or matter or occurrence that he thinks or desire in this universe. Within time and space, we can still create anything, whether it is an object, whether it is a matter, whether it is an occurrence that he thinks or desire. Understand this whole thing, we can start manifesting. How Swamiji told us in Courtyard, we're going to do the same thing. First, understand, experience that this objective world. See, we are, the whole oneness space is the objective world. The subjective consciousness is the will persistence. You have a subjective, how you relate to Swamiji. That matters. The whole space, you're in connected. If you see Swamiji's darshan, simply you materialize or manifest any power, you are able to catch the glimpse. That's all. Anything, if Swamiji says, yes, you will materialize, simply you will see on the Paduka, the materialization happening, you got the glimpse. That's all. The subjective is your will persistent, your Satya Sankalpa to understand this cognition. The objective world, you connecting to Swamiji in the oneness space, understanding that Swamiji, everything that we everywhere is connected as Paramashiva. The consciousness reflection in me, and I am manifesting as Parashakti, the whole space that I'm creating for Parashakti to manifest through me. If you understand, that is objective. The manifest itself happening is the subjective. You are able to connect to Swamiji, and simply because he says, because he has given this sutra, because he says we can manifest, simply we can manifest the power. Understand? So here we are going to give the instruction. We're going to have 2 cups. You can have 1 cup with little water or vibhuti or kumkum or vibhuti, whatever you have in the house, or if you don't have anything, you can have a little amount of water, the other cup completely empty, so that it's absolutely free, clean. Make sure you can get 2 cups and take a photo of 1 cup also. Completely clear. Yes, thank you for the instruction, ma. So make sure the water that is not there in any form in the other cup. You can take a picture also and wipe it clean couple of times before we start. So you're gonna, what Swamiji said is, he kept a vibhuti cup and he said, no, in their hands, they will materialize. So if we can do it in a cup also. If you want to do it in the hand also, fine. If you want to move from the cup to cup also, fine. How you prefer, you decide. So you're going to move from that, and it is going to become from matter to energy, energy to matter. The energy to becoming consciousness is the glimpse you're going to get it. That is Paramashiva himself as manifesting as Parashakti. So celebrate Parashakti just in prayer with Parashakti, the Devi energy. So keep whatever kumkum, vibhuti or both, water, anything you want, keep everything also. Keep 2-3 cups also, whatever you want to materialize into the next cup. You're going to teleport from cup A to cup B. Okay. Yes. Now sit straight. Visualize Swamiji. Yes. Go and get the cup, get the whole thing. We'll give you a couple of minutes. Yes, let's sit straight. Visualize Swamiji in your third eye. Your neck, back and head should be straight line. Your Kundalini has to come to Agnya. Okay. So sit straight, visualize Swamiji in your third eye. Deeply relax by inhaling deeply and exhaling deeply. Just hold the oneness space. You remember the darshan, you remember the rudraksh, you remember the smile, you remember the eyes. Literally, when you get into the eyes, you'll be melting because the eyes are oozing the compassion. So anything you remember, just be with it. Just hold on to the space. We're going to play the Mahavakya, chant exactly in tune, in depth from the navel. No, it has to raise from your stomach. You should feel that from your stomach the sound is coming. Just hold deep chanting. Hold the same tune that Swamiji is chanting. We are going to play exactly Swamiji's chant from Swamiji himself has chanted. So we are going to hold that. Yes, ma'am, we can have the Mahavakya.
Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyananda Paramashivam. Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivam.
Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivam.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहम् 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 नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानंद परमशिवोऽहम्
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda
Yes, Nithyananda. Slowly open your eyes and check the cup or the plate, whatever your hand. You can check your hand also. The Gurukul Balasans, when Swamiji said, literally this is how they started actually power manifestation. Either Swamiji said you have to manifest inside. He used to keep a jar like Kunglikalayam and he'll close it also. And inside that they have to materialize or manifest the whole thing. And these kids used to do all kinds of things and they did very well, very nicely. And this was in the courtyard where they were all over the place and they even metallized pearls, rudraksh, so many things, different small things, small rudraksh, then sugar crystals, so many different things they were manifesting. In presence of Swamiji, it takes it to a next level. It's just a joy to see all these Nithyanandam Yoham people were like sitting with them and were like, Ma, they have, this one has materialized, that one has materialized. And they were also materializing in others' hand. One of the kid materialized Chandan in my hand. So all these Balasans have enjoyed the materialization, simply doing all these things. See, the whole thing shifting from matter to consciousness and then again assembling as matter. The whole thing, whatever Swamiji is giving us, let's keep on pushing ourselves to the space. We just need to hold that space for a few seconds. Then it simply manifests as our reality. Now that we are doing in our hands, it simply, how it is happening in the hands is also, it is happening as Swamiji is manifesting on your hand. Same way the object also happens when you start moving from one to another one. Yes, where is Matthew in Genesis? Yet.
Nandama.
Water, object, what did you keep?
We put water in one of the cups and we were able
Water.
to transfer
Okay.
a little bit of the water to the dry cup.
Yes, continue till you get it. You guys will get it immediately. You've done it. What is there? Yes, Mitra and Ganeshan. All these kids have already done it once. It should not be a big deal for them. All the space that the kids are able to catch it is only thing they connect and they simply are so excited. That excitement makes it happen. Whole spaces, we can put the Kailash Kotiyadma. They can, anybody, any powerful cognition or anything which happens, post it again and again. When you celebrate a power manifestation, only you start manifesting. Anything, the kids, the joy in them, nobody feels like, oh my God, it's not possible. They just feel like, yes, it's happening, just hold on. No, that space makes the kids manifest all these powers. Holding that space of oneness and chanting the Mahavakya simply will make you manifest. If you just cognize that, it will start becoming reality. The beautiful space that Swamiji has created for all of us to manifest, and he himself is guiding us. In courtyard, he himself guides. There are so many times when they started doing Krishna Shila, None of the kids read the Krishna Shila. It'll be shocking when I say that, but the best part is when they put the eye band, no third eye reading eye band, they simply started reading the Krishna Shila. They started showing it to us. No, it was exactly, she showed the Meenakshi picture to me. Literally, I saw Meenakshi with green sari and I saw a ring, which I've never noticed. It was a very unique ring. And I said, I have never noticed this ring on her nose. And it was so beautiful because it was a different kind of a ring. So I told her the size of it and the shape of it. Exactly, it was it, which I've never noticed before in Meenakshi's picture. So they were able to do when they wore a eye band. The only thing, we have to click with it. That's all. Get tuned. You have to change the frequency of your space into the Paramashiva space. That is exactly what happens in Paramashivam. Paramashivam, when Swamiji is sitting there in his presence, the whole thing becomes so easy. Not only easy, so many new things come out. When Balananda was asking these kids to write the answers for the questions from the Mensa book, to the surprise for her, they wrote the question and the answer. So she was so shocked and she said, Ma, I only asked what is the answer. She wrote the question and the answer. Simply the next level of consciousness starts happening because Swamiji's presence is so heavy, right? From that presence, he's in Divya Sharira. In these programs, he's in Divya Sharira. So all this becomes such a beautiful space. Anybody who have not put the intention, make sure you put the intention. Understand Swamiji himself is conducting these programs. We don't know how long that would happen because every program now is happening by Acharyas, and he has told many times, Ma, more and more Acharyas will be conducting inner awakening all over the world, and whoever wants the enlightened space will come to me. So we never should take any of these programs, and especially it is happening once a year. Don't even have a second part. We already miss his physical presence. So at least we'll get this Divya Shariri and be there, and Swamiji himself is going to conduct, answer our questions and be there for us. Next coming generation, they will only see Acharyas taking classes in even in Awakening, Paramashivoham, everything. So let's take this moment to make the registration happen and simply be there. The intention counts. If you put an intention, Swamiji says, you have said yes to me, then it is my responsibility to get you to the program. So it is how you manifest the whole Vibhuti Kumkum. That is the same way. You just write the intention. I want to be with Swamiji for 21 days, just with Swamiji. That is the best vacation for your soul, for yourself that you can ever have. I don't have time, I don't have money, none of my people are going to allow, but I am very clear, I have the intention to be. With that context also, put the intention, simply Swamiji will clear everything. It's he who creates everything anyway. If we allow him to work, he will clear everything. So just put the intention and simply he will manifest, Parashakti will manifest through you. Anybody, any powers that you manifested, let's surrender to Swamiji's Paduka, lotus feet. Anytime you manifest powers here or anywhere else, surrender the whole thing into Swamiji's lotus feet. Let the Shakti become more and more the Buddhi, the subtler and subtler for us to understand what Swamiji is talking about, what Swamiji is giving us. Even to receive that, we need the subtler part of the brain working, the non-mechanical part starts working. So let's surrender the Shaktis to Swamiji's lotus feet. And let's sit straight and visualize Swamiji in the third eye and end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, each and every one of you, to be here to manifest all the powers. Make sure you are in the satsang, and more manifesting powers will be revealed there. Thank you, Nithyananda.